What's going on, dogs? Mr. Allen here. In this video, we're going to classify these four wonderful triangles that we have here by sides and by angles. So when we're talking about by sides, we're saying, is it scalene? Is it isosceles? Is it equilateral? That means no sides, two sides, or all three sides congruent, respectively. That's a big word on the SAT and ACT. Fun fact. All right, and then by angles, we're talking, is it acute? Is it right? Or is it obtuse? In order to be acute, all three angles need to be less than 90. Okay? Obtuse, you just need one that's greater than 90 degrees. So let's look at this first one right here. I only have one marking. It's this guy right here, which says that it's a right angle. So I know this is a right triangle. That'd be classifying it by angles. But what about the sides? I don't have any markings on any of my sides, so I can't assume anything's congruent. So we're going to go ahead and say that this thing is a right scalene, or scalene right. Okay, so scalene and right. So scalene is by sides, right is by angles. Lovely. Let's go over to this one here. So I've got two markings here. That means that it's isosceles because my two legs are congruent, which also, fun fact, would mean that these two angles are congruent. If sides are congruent, angles are congruent, and vice versa with triangles. It's a fun little property there. Now, the next thing would be by angles. Is this thing right, acute, or obtuse? Well, we can't assume a right angle, but I can assume that this guy right here is larger than 90 degrees, right? As long as it looks pretty obvious, okay? I can't assume like certain measures, like I can't say, it's about 30 degrees. I'm not allowed to do that. But I can assume that this is an acute angle, that's acute angle, and then this guy is going to be an obtuse angle since it does appear to be larger than 90. So we're going to say that this is isosceles, hope I spelled that right, and then we're going with obtuse. Beautiful. All right, down here. I've got 1, 2, 3 sides congruent. So this is going to be an equilateral triangle because all three sides are congruent. What about my angles, though? Well, if it's going to be equilateral, all three sides are going to be congruent. That means that all three of my angles are going to be congruent. And if all the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, divided by 3, they're all going to be 60 degrees. It's got to be less than 90 apiece. So this is going to be acute as well. And we can also see that these are all less than 90 degrees, but I just want to give you that another fun fact, right? Anytime I can. So we're going to say this guy right here, by sides is equilateral. And then by angles, it's acute. Okay. Last one over here. I've got a right angle again, so it is a right triangle, and I got two congruent sides. It's isosceles. So by sides, it's isosceles. I'm just going to go with iso this time. I'm going to abbreviate that, right? And then we got a right triangle. Iso, right. There we go, man. All four of those triangles classified by sides and by angles. Generally, I want 2 words with that. If we were to give you numbers, then you can kind of do the same sort of thing here. But this was just with congruent marking, so don't over-assume. But remember that you can assume, hey, that's bigger than 90 degrees. It's going to be obtuse, right? Don't assume right angles unless they are marked like they are here and here. That's about it. That's dope. Have a wonderful day.